Question: is a hot dog a sandwich? I have been thinking a lot as of late about the relationship between AI, and specifically generative AI, and artists. And I think that there is a lot of dread amongst creatives, understandably and maybe rightfully so, around the advances of generative AI. But I think that there's also just like a lot of misplaced stock in AI and what it can do for us. Obviously, a couple years ago or so, OpenAI's DALL-E 5 or whatever blew up, made a huge splash, and then also ChatGPT quickly after, able to do some admittedly impressive stuff. And since then, there has been just a huge debate around the future of art and artists' work and the value of it. And I think that if I'm honest, I'll speak for myself and try not to speak for anybody else. There was a period of time where there was a lot of denial of like, well, this actually looks like garbage. And so we don't need to worry because look how terrible it looks. Look how many fingers all the AI people have, you know. And don't get me wrong, it did and does look like garbage a lot, if not most of the time. But I realize that that is improving, if you can call it that, and that sooner than later, those things will be ironed out. And it begs the question, what is the point of the art that I make? I think that I think that next to that, there's another interesting conversation that's maybe a little bit less existentialist around what a photo is. And you're seeing this conversation happen a lot because many phone manufacturers specifically are adding more and more AI features to phone cameras that go beyond just, hey, you can crop out a person in the background, you can make your teeth wider or whatever, to fully just like, you can type in whatever you want and it will add it to the photo with no watermark saying that it's AI or whatever, you know. And it's causing people to ask the question, is this ethical? But then along with that, the thought experiment played out in real life now of what even is a photo? And I get where this comes from because there's different ways that you can manipulate a photo, either before you take the picture or even after in Photoshop, Lightroom, whatever. And the point that many people make, understandably again, is we were doing these edits before and we weren't questioning if something was actually a photo or not. So where is the line? And I get it, and I think that that is a completely legitimate and even interesting conversation to have. But to that, I have to counter the question, is a hot dog a sandwich? Okay, stick with me here. Similarly, when I was a kid, I found these kind of thought experiments very interesting. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is cereal soup? Because it's fun to poke holes and figure out where the boundaries of logic are, to pull on threads and see if the whole thing unravels or not. And I think that that's fun to a point. Perhaps a fault of mine is that I get unreasonably worked up about stuff like this, but a pet peeve of mine is when people make that thought experiment their personality and then become the type of person that's giving you fun facts that just don't mean anything. Like, hey, did you know that Tuesday doesn't technically exist? Like, okay. And again, I can't emphasize enough that I realize that I care about this more than a normal person should. So I'm not actually saying, like, if to the thought experiment is a hot dog a sandwich, if you say, yes, it is a sandwich because technically blah, 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 despite the rude way that I just impersonated your voice, I don't actually think that you're stupid or wrong or whatever, you know. But if I could humbly submit my answer, I would like to appeal to the words of the writer C.S. Lewis, who in his book, The Abolition of Man, writes this: "You cannot go on seeing through things forever. The whole point of seeing through something is to see something through it. It is good that a window should be transparent, because the street or garden beyond it is opaque. How if you saw through the garden too? It is no use trying to see through first principles. If you see through everything, then everything is transparent. But a wholly transparent world is an invisible world. To see through all things is the same as not to see." Here is my point. If you're at a party and I'm the host and I say, "Hey man, would you like a sandwich?" And you say, "I would love one." And I say, "What kind of sandwich?" And you say, "I'm good with whatever." And I bring you back a hot dog, you rightfully would say, "What the hell is wrong with you?" A hot dog is not a sandwich. Why? I can't appeal to anything more scientific than we're both adults and you know what I mean. So to that end, what even is a photo? You know what a photo is. What even is art? You know what art is. And I think that I have come to a point where I have made peace with the fact that computers can do art better than me, but that doesn't matter because it's a computer. Don't talk about me for a second. Your art, whatever that is that you make, is impressive because you made it. I don't care that a computer can replicate what a painting looks like really well, or a photorealistic picture for that matter. If you show me the Mona Lisa and then say, well, my computer can do that just as well, who gives a cuss? Well, let me guess, your car can drive faster than I can run too. I don't care, it's a computer. Your art matters because you are a person and people. Humans matter. And look, hopefully, if robots take over the world someday, this video doesn't resurface and get used against me for why I should be deplatformed or whatever, but I think that most people, most grown adults living in the real world can agree. The person who sees through everything actually doesn't see anything, and at the end of the day is kind of insufferable. So there is some level of just, we both know what we're talking about. And when we're talking about art, we're talking about art. We're talking about humans expressing creativity. I am not the best drawer that I know. I am not the best musician that I know. I'm not the best video maker that I know. Every creative endeavor that I've ever dipped my toes into or given my life to, I know somebody that is better at it than me. Better, quote unquote. And I think that other people enjoy my work, if they do, not because it is better than others, but because they see the spark of life and creativity and love for the world in it that a robot cannot replicate. I'll end this video with just a little experiment. I have ChatGPT open up on my Google phone, both evil companies, and let's just ask it, is a hot dog a sandwich? The debate over whether a hot dog is a sandwich hinges on definitions. A sandwich typically consists of fillings between two pieces of bread, while a hot dog features a sausage in a single bun. Some argue that... There. You can't even answer that. So shut up, ChatGPT. Peace and love, peace and love.